Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. If you're one of my regular viewers, you know what's going on. If you're not, and you're new to this, currently looking at greatest hits albums, something I don't normally do, but I decided to do a big bulk of them for bands that I wouldn't end up reviewing otherwise. Today's episode, we are talking about Creedence Clearwater Revival Chronicle, the 20 greatest hits, specifically featuring John Fogerty. I'm not going to get into the whole political side of CCR. No one's got time for that shit. What I'm going to get into is the 20 tracks that are on this album. I'm also going to mention that when I bought this album, this was definitely a BMG album. Got the little tag down here. I think it was one of my freebies at the beginning of starting with BMG. So, we got Oh Susie Q. Oh Susie Q, baby, I love you. Susie Q. Kicks off the album. Good tune. Gets you right in the headspace that you need to be in right off the bat. Gets everything going right off the bat. Then we get to I Put a Spell on You. Oh, I put a spell on you because you're mine. Oh, yeah. Good tune. Great tune, really. I've heard multiple covers of this. I really think it's a good tune. I should mention that this is Susie Q was a cover. I Put a Spell on You is clearly a cover. And then we get to one other cover going on a little bit later towards the end of this album. Otherwise, it's all 100% CCR stuff, most of which was just written by Tom Fogerty. You know, a couple tracks slightly different. All right. After that, we get into Proud Mary. Hells yeah. Played this song live I don't know how many times. This is a fun song to jam on, man. Great tune for karaoke as well. I just absolutely love Proud Mary. I love the Tina Turner version of Proud Mary as well. Great song. The song itself is just fantastic. The musicianship is just top notch. Having fun with it and playing with it is just a great tune, man. Interesting little side note. It is very, very easy to transition from Proud Mary into Whiskey in the Jar. Just because, believe it or not, that bass riff, man, in Proud Mary, the boom 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 boom. It's actually not too far off from the main bass line in Whiskey in the Jar. Really fun kind of mix those two together. After that, we go on to I See a Bad Moon Horizon. I see the troubles on the way. Good tune, man. Good fun tune. One of the things that's kind of really cool about CCR is everybody associates them with Southern American rock. And when I say Southern American rock, I'm talking like Eastern Southern, you know, like when you get kind of more Alabama, Louisiana, you know, kind of down in that side of the country. Not Southern California, or not Southern as in California, and these guys are from Northern California at that. So, you know, it was just not something you would have expected from this band, and yet amazing, you know. After that, we go on to Lodi. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. It's one of those songs that after all these years, and I just, yeah. Green River is pretty cool. I don't mind Green River. Commotion's not bad. Down on the Corner. This one's a really fun one, man. I really dig this one. The Down on the Corner. Out in the street where the po' boys are playing, where the music can be beat. Oh. This one definitely has This one definitely has the potential to easily be a country song as well as a rock song. Way more on the countryside though, just because some of the instrumentation they put into it, it goes with the song as you're listening to it, right? You know, it makes total sense. But it really is surprising for a band that was honestly a rock band at the time. Next up, we got the arguably the most popular slash greatest CCR song. We got "Fortunate Son," also a song that is constantly used wrong. This is a very anti-Vietnam song. This was a very, very anti-soldier and war song. And basically, if you actually pay attention for 5 seconds to the lyrics, it's all about how the rich ruling class are, you know, using the poor class to do everything for them. You know, how the rich boys don't have to go off to war. They don't have to go off to challenging locations where they're going to die because that's what the po' boys are for. Traveling Band, good tune as well. Don't mind Traveling Band. Get into it while it's going. Who'll Stop the Rain? This is a very pretty song. Very, very pretty song. I don't know if I would call it like top 20 really good song, but definitely really up there. Up Around the Bend. Okay, tune. I enjoy it. Run Through the Jungle. Believe it or not, this was actually my first major. This song was my first major introduction to CCR. And the very first time I ever heard it, I was watching, I believe it was the movie Rude Awakenings. And there was a scene at the beginning of the movie. It was kind of like a Vietnam flashback, and you know, doing the run through the jungle, right? And they got this song playing. It was my first introduction to this song. I'm like, whoa, man, this is a cool tune. After that, you got Looking Out My Back Door. It's a good tune. I don't mind looking out the back door. Track 15, Long As I Can See the Light. Okay, so as a kid, teenager, wasn't so much into this song. As an adult, I dig this song infinitely more. I think it's a great song. There's just something sweet about it, something pure about it, beautiful about it, classic, old school. But it holds up in today's day and age still, man. You know, that's one thing I can say about a lot of this album. A lot of this album has really come full circle and really does kind of hold up in this day and age. You know, I'll come back around to that in a couple. Next after As Long As I Can See Light is I Heard It Through the Grapevine, the only other cover on this album. Oh my god, 11 minutes and 4 seconds. Every other song on here almost is exclusively between 2 and 3 minutes. There's, you know, 1 or 2 exceptions, but other than I Heard It Through the Grapevine. But oh my god, this song is just killer, man. Oh, I love listening to this one play out. Just got this great jam section on it and everything. It's just, oh. And that bass. Song I really wish I had covered over the years. And, you know, if I ever get a band up and running again, I probably would want to I Heard It Through the Grapevine in there. Just good tune. Have you ever seen The Rain? Another good song. Another really good song I really enjoy. And for me, believe it or not, that's kind of where this album kind of ends. Because then you got Hey Tonight, which is okay. It's not a bad tune. It's a nice, simple, straight-ahead rocker. Sweet Hitchhiker, which is kind of like, not bad. You know, it's kind of straight-ahead rocker as well, but nothing overly great as far as I'm concerned. And then you got Someday Never Comes. Now, I really do dig Someday Never Comes, but when you look at some of the other slower, more laid-back tunes on this album, Someday Never Comes really doesn't do the justice that a lot of these other songs have done on this album. So that point I was going to come back around to where a lot of these songs have come back around to actually mean something again. Proud Mary. The opening lines in the song, left a good job in the city, pumped in a lot of pain down, and going on all the different jobs and stuff like that. And it really is kind of come back around to what it's like for guys now, where guys are just like, screw this, and they're tapping out of the job market and they're walking away. And they're all just going to do their own thing. They've had enough of trying to fit into the modern hustle and bustle kind of deal. And people say, oh, well, that always happens. No, in the 80s, a lot of people job transitioned thanks to NAFTA and jobs all being shipped down to Mexico. So it destroyed Canada and the US's manufacturing market to a huge degree. That's not the same as people just saying, that's it, I've had enough, and they've tapped out. I've done the same thing. The last job I had before my current job, and I ended up being off work for almost a year afterwards, I tapped out of my job. I said I had enough. I had been working in a call center, and there was no respect. It was barely above minimum wage. What was demanded and expected was unreal for what they were paying and how bad the benefits were and stuff like that. And for some reason, people really love to crap all over call center agents. And I wasn't an outgoing call center. I was a major incoming call center. I've actually worked for 2 major telecoms in a call center. Man, there's a reason I tapped out after working in the second one. It was just enough. Fortunate Son. I'm going to say it. You got George W. Bush, who, conveniently never had to serve in Vietnam. Showed up after the war was over. Then you got that whole mess with, current president's son related to not serving and stuff like that. There's not to mention a lot of other politicians out there. And it even extends a little further with Fortunate Son, because now you've got a lot of talk about setting up drafts, so they now include women having to be put in the draft. And women are now screaming, no, I'm not a Fortunate Son. No, I don't want to go. I'm not, that kind of stuff. So it's interesting how, even though the world has really changed, it really hasn't changed at the same time. Run through the jungle, sure, people aren't running through jungles necessarily anymore. Not in Vietnam now. It's, we had, 20 years of, fighting in the desert. Now you're talking about going back into Europe again, possibly, for more fighting. It's just the same idea, just not a jungle anymore. Now it's just, run across the desert and stuff like that. So, for an album that, basically ended in 76 for coverage of music, it's really comes full circle. There's a reason why some of these songs are always in so many different movies. And it's because they're timeless. Everybody should own a CCR Greatest Hits. And believe it or not, this was the most common CCR Greatest Hits. I've seen another one that was a double disc set. Had a couple extra songs on it. It's a really good set as well. I like the couple extra songs in there. I'm kind of a little upset they weren't included in here. But there was 1 or 2 songs that were on here that weren't included in that set as well. It's kind of weird the way it works. But really, you should own a CCR Greatest Hits. If you don't own the actual albums. I don't own the actual albums, but one of the reasons I don't own the actual albums is most of the album cuts I've ever heard from the CCR albums, they're basically the same as the actual singles and stuff like that. The best of, the greatest, whatever. So you can kind of go with that either way. All right, folks. Tell me what your favorite CCR song is. I'm going to be honest, mine's Proud Mary. Without a doubt, Proud Mary is by far my favorite CCR song, which is one of the reasons why I have covered it in multiple bands. It's a great tune, man. It really is. Let me know what your favorite songs are from CCR. I'd love to know. That's what the comment section is for. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. They help out both of us. There's a link below that goes to Patreon. You can feel free to click on that. Peace. Love. Take care.